Hi, everybody. My name is Keith Freeze, and today we are unpacking this tweet and then kind of transitioning into a topic about journalism a little bit. But Carl Bleekian sent out a tweet the other day with about Alex Turcotte in the game against the Ottawa Senators. And the tweet says that Alex Turcotte had the lowest time on ice of any LA Kings player at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Looking at his shift chart, his night was basically over after this play. Now, Caro, if you're watching this video, I want you to know that what I'm about to say is not really about you because I'm going to try and explain this. Your tweet was very matter of fact. It just is one of those tweets that can, get out of control with people interpreting something that's not there. And so, again, I'm going to unpack your tweet here word for word just to prove that this is not necessarily about you, but it's the things that come out of it. Okay. So Alex Turcotte had the lowest time on ice of any LA Kings player at 6 minutes 40 seconds. That is true. That is a matter of fact truth. He did have the lowest time on ice of any LA Kings player in that game. That's true. Looking at his shift chart, his night was basically over after this play. Well, yes and no. What you're saying is that he didn't go out there and have 10 more shifts after this play, right? But again, it's kind of like you're stretching it a little bit, and it's not that I'm saying that you lied or whatever. It's just you're putting a narrative out there that's making people think something else. And I'm going to get to this in a second here because again, this isn't totally about you. I just have to show you what happens when tweets like this get sent out and people run with it. Okay? But I did write back and I said Andre Lee was 7 minutes and 58 seconds time on ice. Trevor Lewis was 8 minutes and 7 seconds time on ice. His line mates weren't exactly logging big time on ice minutes, his being Turcotte. Okay. The LA Kings totaled 10 penalty minutes after this, sending out the penalty kill unit and trying to roll 5-on-5 lines means little time on ice for the fourth line. You left out some pertinent information. More tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is today. And to Caro's credit, he did like this tweet and gave me a follow. I appreciate that. I'm just wanted to shine a light on the fact that we're not exactly giving out all the information here in terms of the tweet that you sent out. Turcotte's line mates weren't playing 10 minutes, 11 minutes during that game, and Turcotte only got 6. They all had really limited minutes. And when I say 10 penalty minutes, why can't I say that? 10 penalty minutes after this play from Turcotte, that doesn't mean that the Kings were out there with their penalty kill unit for full 10 minutes, but it just means that sending out that penalty kill unit 5 times means that the lines are going to get adjusted. That's what I meant. So to say what I said, I'm clarifying from my own statement that I'm not saying that the penalty kill unit was out there for 10 minutes of the last 30 minutes of the game. They were out there consistently 5 times, but they weren't out there for a full 10 minutes. And to that point, the Kings were on the power play 3 times after this. So the power play gets rolled out and the penalty kill gets rolled out. And on paper, those equated to 16 minutes total, 10 on the penalty kill, 6 on the power play. So in theory, you're rolling out these special teams units more than half of what the rest of the game was. Because at the time that this play that Carl was referring to happened, it was literally right in the middle of the game. And so again, if we're just going off of the power play minutes given by drawing a penalty or the penalty kill minutes taken from giving up a penalty, then that's 16 minutes. So they spent more than half of the second half of the game having to roll out their special teams units. So My point is that the fourth line is not going to be in the rotation as much. Now, to what I was kind of saying about how your second statement or your second sentence, Caro, is a bit kind of hit and miss, is because it says, looking at this shift chart, his night was basically over after this play. Well, King's GM in training, or like at Lucky_Luke_20, has this tweet that said, is that accurate? That goal was in the second period, about 10-minute mark. He played 3 shifts in the third, same amount of shifts as in the second. And you can see that he left the shift chart in terms of Turcotte shifts, and you can see that he played 3 shifts in the second and 3 in the third. So it's not like his night was totally over. So to kind of, again, just to clarify, I get that you were being matter of fact about it and saying, he did have the lowest time on ice. That is true. But when you say that second sentence, it's going to lead to people interpreting it a different way. And that's what leads me to this. Now, I'm not going to give the full article on the screen because I don't care. I'm going to cut loose with this, and I really, really don't care. But there is a article that got posted that included Caro's tweet in it, and the article was titled something like Turcotte benched in the Ottawa Kings game. I'll leave it down in the description. You can read it for yourself. But, I'm really going to unpack this one. But here on the screen, as you can see, is a excerpt from that article, and it said, could this be the end for Turcotte? Could the Kings have him in the press box next game and give Akil Thomas the chance to play alongside Andre Lee and Trevor Lewis? It wouldn't be shocking to see him being on the outside looking in for the next few games. Hiller was sending a message to him throughout the second and third periods by only playing 6 minutes and 40 seconds. That message will likely be sent next game as well, with Turcotte being a healthy scratch. Okay, well, let's unpack the second part of your statement here. So you're going to say that the play that Turcotte made was so bad that Jim Hiller had to make a statement by basically benching or sitting Turcotte throughout that game, and that he's going to carry that over to the next game and continue to bench him just to punish him, put him in the doghouse, whatever. Okay, need I remind you that in the Kings game versus Vegas in the preseason, Alex Laferriere, not Alex Turcotte, Alex Laferriere made a shit pass in his own zone to try and clear the puck, and he fed it right onto a Vegas player's stick who came walking down Main Street and scored on Carter George like it was nothing. Need I remind you of that? Now, Alex Laferriere did that, and did Jim Hiller go and punish him by making him sit out the next game or even take a line demotion? No, he didn't, because Alex Laferriere has played consistently on the top line from that point until now. And has he gone and redeemed himself? Yes, he has. So everybody makes mistakes, especially young guys, right? But I'm bringing that instance up to say that mistake that Alex Laferriere made, not Alex Turcotte, Alex Laferriere made, was far worse than the play that we're talking about with Alex Turcotte. Alex Turcotte cleared the zone. In fact, he got the puck out of his zone in the same way that almost every other player does. He didn't shoot at the length of the ice and get an icing. He didn't put steam on it so that it even maybe drawn an icing or got close to that. He literally put enough oomph on the puck just to get it out of his zone and clear the zone, so that way Montreal would have to get out of the offensive zone and reset. It was a smart hockey play that just ended up going away from whatever, but it was a smart hockey play. He didn't do anything dumb. It wasn't like he turned around and took a shot on Darcy Kemper himself. Alex Turcotte was playing a really sound game, and Alex Turcotte's been playing really well. And my example about Laferriere is not to crap on Laferriere, but it's to crap on articles like this, where it's just like, oh, he needs to be taught a lesson. Is this the end for Turcotte? It's just like, no, it's not the end for Turcotte. because it wasn't the end for LaFerriere either. And LaFerriere made a far worse play. Now, here's where I am going to be a little bit more personal about journalism and everything else. So I want you guys to listen really closely, okay? I've been trying to get a job in the NHL for like 7 or 8 years, okay? I've been trying to get into whether it was journalism or even sports scouting. Yes, I got into scouting really deep to the point where I wasn't just scouting the NHL entry draft, but I started scouting players that were playing in Bantam for the LA Junior Kings, because the only way that you can get a scouting job out here in that sort of like younger age bracket, not a pro scout, but to be an amateur scout or whatever, is to scout Bantam and then try and work for a junior team to get those Bantam players to go play for those junior teams. So I've tried a whole bunch of avenues to try and be a part of the NHL. And I'm bringing that story up because I need to make this personal. Okay, so you have context as to why these things frustrate me. Back in 2017, I kept trying to get a job with the Vegas Golden Knights. And I was trying to get a job with the Golden Knights because they were a new franchise, not necessarily because I was like, yippee, like Vegas, woohoo. No, but really because I wanted a job. Okay, and thankfully, at the job that I did have, I had somebody come into my work who was just the sweetest guy, the coolest guy, and he did me a huge favor, and he got me in contact with some really, really, really important people in the hockey journalism world. People that make these articles look like whatever. Like, this is already a garbage article, but these people would put these people to shame. I got a chance to talk to those guys, and not only talk to them, but they reviewed my work and gave me feedback on them. One of which is somebody that the entire hockey world would be like, wow, that guy talked to you, you know, you'd be so lucky, okay? But one of them that I talked to, one out of the three, in my opinion, is a very, very, very underrated in terms of his resume, his overall resume, but he's so underrated as a journalism in terms of the other people I was talking to. But I'm not even going to name names. I'm not going to name names. If you're watching this video, you know who you are. But that third guy that I'm talking about, in my opinion, is a great journalist. And he read one of my articles that I wrote, and he didn't rip it to shreds, but he was very critical of little things that I did in my article. One of which, this is just an example, but one of which was that I capitalized the word summer. And he was like, oh, are you German, or do you speak German? I was like, well, not really, but why do you ask? And he said, because they capitalize their seasons. So they'll capitalize like fall or summer, winter, whatever, you know? So I was like, oh, okay. But the fact that I'm bringing that up is to say that he was nitpicking my article for typing things. And so when that happened, it made me go, okay, this is a guy that's really well respected in our industry of journalism that I want to get into, and I've got to bring my A game. I can't roll out bad information. I can't roll out stupidity. I can't roll out, these like quick articles, right? But I go back to like the quote that this person wrote in this article, and this was posted on Yahoo. Now, is Yahoo like the end all be all of websites or anything? No, it's not, but it's still a household name. So this person's writing an article for a household whatever, industry, company, whatever, and they're rolling out garbage like this. This is garbage. I don't care what anybody says. This is garbage. This is opinion. It's not fact. There was nothing that came out from that game where Jim Hiller went, Alex Turcotte, I put him in the doghouse, and it could be the end for him. It's like you are speculating and you're not even being optimistic about it. One of the big reasons why I started this channel is because for the last 2 or 3 years, the Kings Twitter feed in terms of the Kings fans posting things has been so incredibly negative to the point where it's illogical at points. And so I have to do these things because it's like, hey, look, let's look at this from a more optimistic perspective. Not everything is falling apart. And at the same time, I feel like I'm doing a better job within the last month of just doing these videos than some people have done for years posting content about the Kings. We all want jobs in the NHL. We all want them. We all want a job in the NHL. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, well, everybody else can go get one and I'll just like sit here and stick my thumb up my ass. No, I want a job in the NHL. I'm going to work hard to get a job in the NHL, but I'm not going to sit here and post garbage stuff just to get clicks, because I'm going to guess that based on how short some of these articles are that get posted, that it's these companies that go to these people and they go, write less, post more. Meaning, I'd rather you post 3 articles that are all 2 sentences each so that way we get clicks. I'm not looking for clicks. I'm looking to give you guys good, honest content. That's what this video is about. It's good, honest content. It might be abrasive. It might be in your face. I don't care. It's good, honest content. So when I read these articles that are opinion, they're not rooted in anything. And then I see this person working for Yahoo who probably has a press pass from the LA Kings, and I choose not to follow or pursue journalism because I have respect for the people that are in it, so much to the point that I just get nervous. Like, I don't want to ruin the reputation of the journalism. I need to just start doing journalism. I might end up with a press pass because I can guarantee you I could write something a lot better than this, and I could probably write something a lot more truthful than this. So going back to Caro, it's not about your tweet. It's about the things that came out from it. This guy took your tweet and went, he could be benched. It could be the end for him. It's like, no, it's not the end for Turcotte. Okay? The end would have been a long time ago. And in fact, this person that wrote this article, I'm not even going to say your name because this article was such a joke. I'm not even going to give you the time of day to even acknowledge who you are. I know who wrote the article. It's down in the description. You guys can check it out for yourself. I'm not going to give you the pleasure of saying your name because this was just a joke article. But you could turn around and be like, oh, well, I just meant, could it be the end of his time on ice for this next game? I didn't mean the end. It's like, no, what you said is what you said. And you're trying to paint a narrative like Turcotte needs to go away. If he needed to go away, wouldn't it have been years ago when he was accruing injury after injury? Like, wouldn't that have been the end? Not when he's playing well and he's a consistent everyday NHLer who made a good play and it just happened to go against the team. No. Not then. That's not the end. Not when he's doing everything right. It's just, this is the kind of stuff that just makes you go like, what are we talking about? This isn't journalism. This is BS. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to call these things out because they're not great. They're not great. And at the same time, you know what? It's just the world we live in, I guess. I'm not going to fake it till I make it and pretend to be writing articles all day and night and be like, I write for Yahoo. I'd rather not write for Yahoo and roll out good, honest content like this and at least say, no, I kept it real. I don't write for Yahoo. I don't write for whatever you can think of, the hockey news. I don't write for whatever, LA Times. I don't write for any of them. Could I? Do I have a background in writing? Am I a phenomenal writer? Yeah, I really, really am. But do I have those things? No, I don't. And I'd much rather roll out content like this without having somebody tell me what I can and cannot say, if it means being honest and keeping things 100, as the kids say. I don't know if they still say it, but I'd rather keep it honest with you guys and just tell you the reality of the world that we're living in. This is not journalism. This is clickbait. This is people trying to get a job, and they feel like the best way that they can do that is just post content after content after content, and it's not substantive. There's no anything to sink your teeth in with any of these. So King's journalists, I'm air quoting because I don't think any of you are, but King's journalists, your little Twitter circle, you guys got to be better. If you guys want to get a job in the NHL, you got to be better. I don't care if you have a press pass or not. Your press pass means zero. Go back and watch Rob Blake's presser from the beginning of this season. There was times where they'd be like, "Oh, so and so is up next," and without Rob Blake rolling his eyes literally, you could tell that emotionally he was not only rolling his eyes, he was basically being the Undertaker. Okay? So the King's brass knows who the people are that really provide good content. They know who the people are that are saying something honest and true, something worthy of listening to, something worthy of being read, something of value. And most of the stuff that I'm seeing from the King's journalists on Twitter is none of that. So be better. Caro, again, this is not about you. It's about the things that came out of your tweet. So there you go. Everybody be better. My name is Keith Freeze. Thank you for checking out this video. And as always, go Kings go.